So hello adventurers and welcome to the club. This is my little tuna can survival kit, and like all survival kits it contains a cutting implement, aka not really a knife. It contains one of those X-Acto knife blades, shake it out, they are oiled, one of those knives blades that goes in one of those knives. Yeah, the viewer asked me, why do we put those in there? Are they somehow better than a regular knife blade? Like something like this here, for example. I mean, that's a legit knife. That's in every survival situation very welcome. It contains a saw, a blade, a can opener, all corkscrew, everything. This is a East German made pocket knife, practically a bigger Swiss Army knife clone. It's a very good knife. I've made a short video about it. But yeah, back to the question. Like I said in the video, no, the reason we put them in there is they are small and they fit in. But it made me thinking, isn't there anything better to put in one of our beloved little kits? Yeah, and I was digging around my stuff and I found this. Yeah, this is a tiny little knife. It's from the 70s or 60s. It says super and hand on it, and the other side is marked in Chinese. Probably says the same thing, and there's a hand. It has here one rivet, a little cutout. It's made out of tin, and when you flip it out, you get a little X-Acto knife blade, like the ones you see here. Sorry for the loud pop. It is practically the same thing like this, with the one difference that this here has the little break me X-Acto knife perforations, while the other one here doesn't have those. Of course you don't want it to break. But the problem with this knife is, it is excellent. It is cheap, far cheaper than a Spyderco bug or something, which some people put in those kits, because it's the only small knife that's kind of good. But this one is extremely sharp. Blades are all sharp when they come from the factory. The thing is, the cheaper the steel, like this one here, the faster they get dull. So, the problem with this is, it's from the 70s, and it doesn't, they don't make those anymore. So, that made me thinking, and I thought, why not make one myself? Yeah, and I took a piece of a tin can, something like this, and I made my own. So, and now in this video I will show you how to make one of those. All we need for this project is a X-Acto knife blade. Every kind will do. I am taking this one here because that's a broken off piece that I have already. But I have made one with a smaller one like this. It's the same process. And you need a can of some sorts. This one contained beans, Mr. Beans and Mrs. Beans. And you cut a piece out of it, just like this. You will need some, a bit of stronger cutting implement, or you sacrifice a cheap pair of scissors. You could use a Dremel. Also, another pair of pliers isn't bad, and that's actually all you need. Okay, let's get right into it. So we take our scrap piece of tin. We look for a suitable sized area. That should do about this. And then we cut it. Just like this. Next, we will bend it. I try to have the blade in one of the grooves, like here. Like this one here. Then I start bending it just with my fingers. That's the good thing about this tin. It's very thin tin. The only rigidity it gets is from those fins here. And if you don't have the strength in your fingers to bend it, that's no problem. Ask your boyfriend. No, I'm just kidding. That's what you can use pliers for. So, and before I'm jumping ahead now, I'm just trimming off a bit of this. Doesn't matter. You can always bend it back, you see. I'm just cutting off a bit of this. Just cutting around it. That's because we do want to avoid any kind of jagged edges. Do the same thing up here, as long as we are having easy access. See? And be careful, if they fall down on the floor, step into them, they stick. Trust me, they stick in your foot. So carefully get rid of them. And yeah, here it is now. Just, I get you a bit closer here. I think that's better. I put it now like this. So. Now I'm just bending the upper part around the blade. Be careful, it is still still got sharp edges, so you don't cut yourself. And of course the blade is sticking out. So, just like this. Now you got yourself, and this stays in here, very solid. But you can of course always go in with your pliers and just squeeze it a bit. Just like this. That makes it a bit stronger. Let's do one in the middle as well. Yeah, and now you got yourself a tiny little knife. You can of course use a bit of a longer piece of tin, so you can slide it back and forth. Then you just have to not crimp it in front, just at the back. But this is in here solid. You can of course bend it open and get it out again, but it allows you now to grip it tight without cutting yourself. If you still have jagged edges, just sand them down or put a bit of a duct tape around. And now let me take some scrap piece of paper and show you how sharp it is. It's words cheaper than a Spyderco bug, and also it is sharper. Yeah, blades like this, they are very sharp, and it is actually a very good hand feeling here. Yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed this video and you don't have to blow out 30 bucks for a Spyderco bug, which should cost a buck. I mean, the name suggests it, but yeah. It's simple to make, it's cheap, it's easy, and if you have it in your altered tin, probably never need it. It's not worth putting a 30 buck expensive knife in a bag. Yeah,